In December 2018, Black Mirror took interactive storytelling to a whole new level with Bandersnatch, a choose-your-own-adventure style episode that blurred the lines between reality and fiction. Inspired by the real-life gaming culture of the 1980s, the episode was packed with Easter eggs, retro gaming nostalgia, and even a playable version of the in-universe game Nosedive. Let me show you how you too can play this game in all its simulated retro 80s style. One of the coolest surprises hidden in Bandersnatch was Nosedive, a fictional game developed within the episode by Colin Ritt, a legendary game designer played by Will Poulter. However, unlike Bandersnatch itself, Nosedive actually became a real playable game. Netflix released Nosedive as a fully functioning ZX Spectrum game, accessible through an old-school .tap file. The game can be played on actual ZX Spectrum hardware or an emulator. In Nosedive, players guide a falling character through an endless drop, dodging obstacles in a classic arcade-style experience. The game's simple mechanics and pixel-perfect aesthetics paid homage to 1980s gaming while also tying into the dark themes of Bandersnatch, where reality often feels like an uncontrollable freefall. So, how do you play this game, I hear you ask? First off, you are going to need an emulator or an actual ZX Spectrum and a copy of the game. Check out the links in the description for both files. I am using the amazing Retro Virtual Machine. This emulator is as close to owning the actual hardware as you can get and even lets you eject tapes. And if you are feeling super retro, you can even use the built-in basic operating system and write your own games. Also, as a side note, that sound you hear while the game loading is the actual program. You could simply record the audio and record it to your own tape cassette and load it up using this emulator. Remember twin cassette decks, not just used for copying the latest Now 2 album, but could also copy the latest cassette games you borrowed from a friend. After downloading the emulator, you need to make your first ZX Spectrum. Select the left-hand menu and create a new machine. Click Next through the options and pick the type of Spectrum you want. After you finish this step, you will have a shiny new retro computer waiting to be played. Click the computer and it will boot up. There are a number of options and settings such as adding scan lines and color adjustments to make it look and feel like the old days you so fondly remember. Now click on the tape icon on the top right of the screen and then press eject and load the Nosedive .tap file you downloaded. Click enter on the screen to start the tape load option, then press play on the tape machine and the game will start to load. You can speed up tape loading if you want with the speed icons at the top left of the screen. I prefer to let the tape load as it would have done in the 80s. Once loaded, you can play the game and get your freak on. There are thousands of .tap files for loads of old retro games. This emulator lets you create Spectrum, Commodore, and Nintendo systems. I hope you enjoyed this video, and until the next time, stay retro.